everyone, welcome to Reading Course 2. My name is Nguyễn Thanh Huyền. I'm currently working as a lecturer of English in Hanoi University of Science and Technology. Today I'm very glad to be your teacher in this course. So with a considerable experience in teaching a wide range of students, especially adult students, I hope that after the course, your reading skills and vocabulary will be improved significantly. So before we get to our first lesson, let me give you a brief introduction on Reading 2 course. So about the general contents, the Reading 2 courses contains 6 units, with topics ranging from sports, work, health, leisure, and environment. So apart from important reading skills like skimming, scanning, predicting, and making inferences, you are provided with vocabulary knowledge on word forms, word families, root work, synonyms, antonyms, prefix, suffix, and topic-related words. And let's move to the objective of the course. Of course, at the end of the course, you will be able to first explain and apply reading comprehension skill in order to identify main ideas and specific details at intermediate level. And then you will express and apply basic knowledge on English language. Then move to some exercises. We can predict the word meaning based on its word form, context, and examples. Next, we can preview and predict the contents based on background knowledge. And we have a new skills here, which is making inference. So you will make inference based on its word form, context, and personal background. So in general, that is the skill that you will gain from the course, and you will be also able to collect social knowledge through different units of the course. Now let's start with our first unit, Young Athletes. First, let's warm up a little bit by looking at the pictures. So can you tell me, what are these sports? What other sports do you know? And which athletes do you think are the best on their sports? I mean, the person who does their the person that does their best on their jobs. And do you know any young athletes, and how old were they when they first started? So in these lessons, of course, the first goal is to have you reinforce and expand your vocabulary on sport and adjective with the suffix OUS. And the second goal is to understand and practice the skill of previewing and predicting. As you can see on the screen about the overview, we have 2 parts. The first part is vocabulary, and the second one is skills. Let's look at the vocabulary focus. We have 2 important points. The first one is sport-related vocabulary, and the second one, you are equipped with adjectives with the suffix OUS. Okay, so as you can see on the screen, there are many sports, and I want you to revise a little bit on what you will still remember about this by guessing what sport it is. So you need to match the following explanation with appropriate pictures from 1 to 9 to A to G. So let's have a brief revision on sport vocabulary. Now let's look at the way to use some verb like play, go, and do to talk about games and sports. So there is a variety in the way people talk about sport. Normally we can use 3 common verbs. They are play, go, and do. So the first word is play. So play is often used with sport that you play with a ball or in a team. For example, play basketball, or play badminton, or play ice hockey. What about go? So goes often go with a sport that you have to go somewhere to do, or it often ends with the ending ing. For example, like go swimming, go trekking, or go hiking. And move to the verb do. Normally, we often use the verb do with the sport that you do it by yourself, like you will do yoga or do exercises. However, there are some special cases. As you can see on the screen, do can also go with boxing, weightlifting, and do training, or do martial arts, right? As you can see, even though the word boxing and with the endings ing, but it still go with do. Okay, so make sure that you remember that. Okay, now let's practice a little bit by completing this exercise. Look at the sport and games below and write the words from play, go, and do next to each activity. Okay, I will give you some time for that. So we just know how to use the verb go, play, and do to talk about sport and games. Now we move to the next part. We're going to talk about the adjectives with the suffix ous. Okay, so one way to form adjectives in English is to combine ous with a noun. So normally you will add the suffix ous at the end of the word. And this suffix means to have or to be full of something. So for example, we have the word danger and the adjective is dangerous. Or anxiety, anxious. Fame and famous. Or nerve, nervous. So I wanted to use this suffix to change the nouns in the chart to the adjectives. Okay, now let's moving on to the next part, the skills part, which is very important now is the course, right? So today we're going to learn about previewing and predicting. So what is previewing and why is it important? How do you preview when you read? So normally previewing involves skills like skimming, scanning, predicting in preparation for reading a new passage. So normally the aims of previewing is to help us predict or make some educated guesses about what is in the text. So what should we predict or preview? You should notice the titles, the subtitles, the pictures, or sometimes you can scan interesting information. And maybe you can read the first sentence and the last sentences in the reading. Okay, let's have to get familiar with this skill, let's look at the practice 5. I want you to read this following table about a day in life of a college football player and answer the question below. How are athletes' lives different from a normal student? Okay, have you finished? So as you can see, if you focus on the number or the hours that they spend on their daily basis, normally they need to focus on both practicing the sport and studying. And sometimes they have to miss the classes because they have to travel across for games, right? And then the tutors they need to hire tutors, or they have tutors to help them catch up on their study as well. So as you can see, this kind of people are very busy, right? Both in sport and studying. Now let's have more practice. Take 1 minute to preview the picture below before you read the passage. Think about the title, the picture, scan the passage for interesting information, and look at the first and the last sentences in the first paragraph and the last paragraph. Okay? And after that, help me to answer these following questions. What do you think about the passage is about? What do you already know about this subject? And what interesting or special about Laura Decker? Okay, so the reading tag is provided in the next slides. Okay, now let's dig deep into the reading text and read the passage very carefully to choose the correct answer for these following questions. Number 1. What is not a reason people were against Laura's trip? Number 2. What do you think the line in paragraph 2? She was born on a boat, New Zealand, and has hardly stepped off one since means. And for number 3, what is the main idea of the last paragraph? Read the following sentences and check whether they are true or false. Make sure that you underline the keywords. It could be noun, adjectives, number, so it's easier for you to follow when you read the text. Okay, so we just finished the first passage about previewing. Now let's move to the second skill, predicting. So I think that you have already learned this skill, but today we need to practice more to improve it, right? You should base on the information that you gather when you preview in the text. It will help you to predict the content of the text. You should ask yourself, like, what is it about? What kinds of text is it? And what do you already know about it? By using this skill, it helps us to understand what we read about, therefore processing information far more quickly and saving more time. Okay, so now let's have some practice. First, look at the title. As you can see here, the unbeatable Yani sang in the passage below. The passage is about this young female athlete who became very successfully at a young age. Check what you think the message will mention. Okay, so as you can see here, we have a number of physical strengths, and I want you to look at the pictures and take the strength that she may have, and then skim the passage provided in the next slide to check whether your answers are correct or not. Okay, now let's look at the passage and read it very carefully. Choose the correct answer for the following questions. Number 1. Which event happened first? Number 2. How did Yani change after learning English? Number 3. Which is not mentioned as helping Yani speak better English? And then read the following question to check whether they are true or false. The reading passage is provided in the next slide. So that is the end of the predicting skill and also the end of our Unit 1. So in summary, today we have learned about the topic young athletes. The focus today includes both vocabulary and skills. So for vocabulary, you have enriched with sport-related. Your vocabulary has been enhanced by learning some sport-related vocabulary and the adjective with the suffix OUS. And for the skills focus, you practice previewing and predicting. And I hope that you can use this one to read the text related to the topic better.